Shalom. It's a great joy greeting all our precious viewers with the good news that Jesus Christ is Lord, Savior, Deliverer, Healer, and soon coming King. As a people, we should be concerned about our nation and where we are going. We must not allow prosperity to evade us. The devil is fighting for the soul of this nation. It is time that our leaders and people as a whole come together and work for the benefit of all. For us not to lose this battle, we first have to bury our differences, love, repent, forgive, reconcile, respect, and appreciate each other's. It is time that we move forward and stop marking time. As a people, we cannot be making the same mistakes every 5 years and starting all over again. It is a waste of time, energy, resources, and manpower. Albert Einstein says, and I quote, sanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting the same results, unquote. Let us think about our children, our grandchildren, and move Guyana forward. We encourage you to continue to protect yourself. Adhere to the public health advisory. Remember, life is a gift from God. It is precious, valuable, and priceless. So care it. This is Choices, a program with you in mind. God bless you, and God continue to bless beautiful Guyana.
We've noticed that the curfew hours would have been removed now from six to 9 in the evening. That's the close off time. This lends itself to more space and to more activity for some persons, and may rightly be so, in terms of those persons who have businesses and you know that they have to find a way of attracting income, and that is important. But as a people, as Reverend Singh just talked about, being sane as a people, I think it is important that we be logical and we exercise some kind of sanity in relation to what we see happening in Guyana. A word we want to use is responsibility. Responsible. We have to be responsible. The men and the women of this country, the children too, everybody. We have to be responsible. And that word responsibility, it has two other important words connected to it, and that is duty and accountability. And so we have a duty as citizens of this country to protect ourselves, and in so doing, to protect one another. We have to be accountable also. Some persons operate as though they are a lord unto themselves, and therefore they're not accountable to anybody. Now, if clearly we have these curfew rules, we have the rules about sanitizing, wearing face masks, social distancing, all of these things came up because people did the research and they know and they want to protect us. They want us to live. The least we could do is exercise that kind of duty and that kind of accountability to those persons who have the wisdom and the knowledge as to how we should move forward. Some countries, they've already started to open up, and they're already on a developmental trajectory. We heard about, our bishop spoke about China, and another gentleman on this call spoke about, in that area, Scandinavia, Deacon Kurt. And I just want to bring us back quickly. We might say, oh yes, these are far countries and they're developed and so on, but I want to bring us back quickly to right in our neighborhood, right in our yard, so to speak, Barbados. And I was looking at the information in relation to Barbados. Barbados has 190 cases. And out of this 190, 179 persons would have recovered, and 7 deaths. I've been to that country many times, and I'm sure there are many persons here. The discipline that we see exercised in that place, it is something else. When you go there, compared to how you see sometimes how we live and how we operate in this country, we still have men liming, drinking, and doing all sorts of things that will facilitate the spread of this disease. In Barbados, the children are already gone back to school. They're going to school 2 days in a week, and so on, because of how they think and how they operate. I think the time has come for us to demonstrate that, and because we can. We're not people who are not capable. We can, and I think the time has come for us to demonstrate that quality so that we could live and be prosperous in this country, gentlemen.
Responsibility and accountability can never be overlooked. And I take this opportunity at this time to introduce a new face. I think it's our responsibility to introduce Brother Lemar Williams. I hope you will put your hands together when I'm finished for him. Lemar is a young man who loves the Lord Jesus Christ with a passion and is doing his LLB at UWI, University of the West Indies. He has a clear mind and has a purpose-driven attitude, excellent in research, and always has a word of encouragement for you. And so, with great joy, on behalf of Bishop Masayo, we want to introduce Brother Lemar Williams to this program, Choices. Welcome, Lemar. Welcome, welcome. You know, Dr. Hudson, as I listen to how you have described and identified the examples, the good examples around the world, I ask myself why we are unable to follow suit. Why can China open and we can't? Where this virus actually started? Why Barbados can gradually readjust itself to normality while we still are struggling? And it comes back to those two important words. I don't think we have a sense of responsibility to ourselves and a sense of responsibility to those who are around us. And because of that, our actions become very careless and we spread the virus. We somehow have to become accountable. We can't develop that mindset, and it's beyond COVID-19. It is for overall development. We just can't develop that attitude where we are Lord and God of ourselves and we don't need to account to anyone. We must develop a mindset from the very youngest to the very oldest that we are accountable to each other. We are responsible for each other. I would never forget an incident of a 94-year-old woman who died, who is at home, don't go anywhere, and died from COVID-19. That can't leave my mind. Somebody, therefore, was not as responsible as was required. And so it becomes a need, and we would like to raise our voice on this matter.
Since this thing is about your world, meaning Anthony, Joshua, Nivin, Martin, Lemar, this matter is more about your world than my world. I'm on my way out. You guys are now settling in. I would love to hear your thoughts about what do you believe is the next step forward. The baby boomers here, we are seeing this thing clear. Talk to us, talk to this nation about how should we proceed from this point.
You know, while I would love to pour out my heart on this matter, I must first commend those who spoke before of the importance of responsibility and accountability. And for us to move forward as a nation, especially the young persons whom, as you put it, Bishop, who will inherit more or less this beautiful land of Guyana moving forward, I think we definitely need to stand firm on being responsible and being accountable. And, you know, wisdom needs to prevail. Wisdom needs to prevail. And I was reading Proverbs 17:10 that says, rebuke is more effective for a wise man than 100 blows on a fool. And I really believe that we need to come to a position where we choose, make up our minds, whether we will live as wise or as fools. And if we choose to, and I do encourage us to live as wise people, because we are a wise nation, and our young people are very informed, very knowledgeable. We have access to information, but even that access to information needs wisdom, needs a practical aspect. And so we would adhere to the rebuke, to wear masks, to social distance, to remain at home if necessary. And I believe once we implement and we stand firm on wise principles, we can move forward as a nation, and young people have a beautiful Guyana and life to look forward to in this nation.
I think that as young people in this state, well, based on even my interactions with some friends, Guyana will move forward. There's a sentiment of hope, you know, all Guyana is going to move forward. But specifically when it comes to my generation, I believe that we are more exposed to technology and we're more technologically inclined. And for us to really join the global revolution or the global technology revolution in Guyana, we need to be able to create wealth and transfer wealth to each other via digital means. And I think that the most important or the most transformational tool that we could use in Guyana, or the most transformational project for ensuring that we're able to grow and benefit from this globalization move, or this age of globalization, is to reform our financial laws to facilitate the online transfer of money. Now, I'm not talking about just banking, because many of us are using e-banking, but I believe that being able to immerse ourselves in the global fintech industry by having access to receiving money through PayPal, by being able to use technology platforms like Stripe, we will be able to benefit from not only money coming in from outside of Guyana, but we'll be able to move money across to our friends and our family much easier. Now, the reason why I mentioned this is because COVID has caused us to transform the way of thinking, and my focus is more along entrepreneurship and business. And I think that in order for us to really look at the future of Guyana, you know, we might not be able to interact with each other as we've done before, especially in a business transaction. We've become used to, or we've grown up going to the market, exchanging money, physical money, having to go and meet people and for different services, and we've all been doing that in person. But the platforms are already built out there for us to eliminate the physical interactions with each other. But because of the archaic approach to finance, the transfer of money across Guyana and even money internationally across the borders, I think that's one way that we're going to target. So again, the future of Guyana is bright, but we need access to those sort of platforms in order to really build ourselves and prepare ourselves for the future.
Indeed, we need to be responsible and accountable. I remember the other day at the park, a youngster was saying, COVID is touch who you want touch. I know a man that had on a mask and he still get COVID. You know, that is foolishness. All right, as young people, we need to be responsible. As Guyanese, we need to be responsible. A man by the name of Mr. Forbes said, the real freedom of any individual can always be measured by the amount of responsibility which he must assume for his own welfare and security. Responsibility is important. Manage your personal life. Manage those around you. Be responsible so that COVID-19 wouldn't plague our lives.
To add on what my brothers would have already shared, apart from the whole fact that we need to be responsible, I think responsibility, it not only should be said in its generic sense, but we should understand that responsibility not only means being responsible to ourselves, but it means positioning ourselves to have influence. Dr. Miles Monroe was talking, I could remember in one of his sermons, talking about influence. And that is the only way you can effect change, is if you have influence. And I personally would believe that us as young people, we need to position ourselves in places of influence, in that we should try our best to be involved in the political game, the political sphere, as early as possible. I don't think we should wait until we're old, quote unquote. I think we should try our best now to effect changes as young as possible. We can position ourselves in that line so that we can start making changes that we see fit. Also, I personally think that, as Bishop would have said, in that the baby boomers, they're going out. I don't think we should run with that statement. I think we should position ourselves as close to the baby boomers and learn as much as possible, because as young people, there's this notion that we know it all, or we don't need to listen anything that the baby boomers have to say. But I personally would think that being close to those who've already walked the walk, talk the talk, those who've already understand what it is to be in Guyana, those who would have already identified the issues. And I think we should buy into the visions that they have, and we could run with their visions, because sometimes we as young people, we don't know everything, we don't understand everything, and it's perfectly fine to learn from those who would have already done it. So responsibility and accountability, it doesn't have to be, the onus doesn't have to be on you alone, but it could be you positioning yourselves close to those who would have already walked the walk. So that is just a little bit of observation from me.
Limaris,
It's
you made it.
remarkable. It's remarkable that I made an invitation, but it's remarkable that to hear the young people on the set. But we are talking directly to you. Yes, you. You're storing around in the market. You have until 8 o'clock. You're in the supermarket. You have until 8 o'clock because of the new hours. We are trying to get your attention. And we want you really to take the reality of COVID-19 seriously. You're in your home, and you're perhaps sitting in Orange Walk, and you're gathered someplace. The whole idea is wearing of a mask is very important. We want to encourage you. I can put this on here. I'm in my office by myself. If I invite anyone in, I'm going to put my mask on. We want to encourage you. As Dr. Redford said, there's a lot of safety in wearing a simple cloth mask. We want to encourage you to wear this once you're in the public domain. It doesn't make you less macho or whatever it is. It will protect your life. That is, if you don't even like the people around you, you don't like the leadership and so on, that is your business. But make a choice to protect you. Make that choice. Be responsible to protect you. And if you do that, you will protect your family. You will protect those who are close to you. So you not only wear a mask. People are making joke on this thing. Too many Guyanese congregate and without face masks. They have no social distancing. Listen, the best that science has got to offer outside of a vaccine, the best that science has got to offer outside of a vaccine is the face mask, sanitizing, and practicing social distancing. During the World War, lots of soldiers were treated for something called VD, venereal disease. I think they call it STIs now. When they discover penicillin, oh man, lots of men threw caution to the wind because they could live their lifestyle and just go to a doctor, get a shot over a period of time, and they're back in business. Listen, COVID will take you out, right? So the whole idea is there's no magic bullet. We are trying to encourage us. Let's have this serious discussion. Wear a face mask.
You know what the Bible said, Bishop? Fools think their own way is right, but the wise listen to others. I'll repeat it. Fools think their own way is right, but the wise listen to others. What we were encouraging us, all of ourselves and you today, is to listen. When we listen, we learn. We spoke earlier about personal responsibility. Personal responsibility does not only apply, I would like to expand that, not only to yourself, but personal responsibility to your family. When we talk about responsibility and accountability, we also are talking about how we conduct ourselves. How do we do that? Some of us can have self-discipline. Some of us look to a mentor to help to guide us along. Our program choices can't be that mentor that you can listen to guide you along. Others can look further afield to another country to see how those persons are conducting themselves. Dr. Hudson mentioned that earlier about Barbados. He mentioned earlier about China, where this pandemic started, and now they're almost free. I want to add another country in that, two other countries actually, New Zealand and South Korea. New Zealand right now is almost, if not entirely, COVID-19 free. Why is that so? They'll be having cricket there in the next month, I think November. The Pakistani team will be going there, and they do not have to be in a bio bubble as it was in England. They can tour that, they will go and they will stay for 14 days before. Once they're free, they can tour that entire nation. Why is that? We need role models, and we need to look further afield for those role models if they're not close to our nation. So it's personal responsibility and accountability to ourselves and to our families.
I heard an unfortunate statement yesterday, I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday. Somebody, out of their frustration, said when all the fools them dead out, the disease gone done. And I mean, a statement like that is kind of unfortunate, because it is not only fools will die, because there are people who are protecting themselves, but because of the behavioral practices of some other people, a man who has been observing these rules could become contaminated. So the statement, it's kind of unfounded and it's sad at the same time. But we need to have, as we heard before, the face mask, the sanitizing, I saw the recently gazetted order that talks about persons staying within the confines of their home, in their compound and all of that. And Bishop, I'm happy when you mention the young people, because sometimes for you to make progress, you go to the root, and you look for the formation of a new generation of critical thinkers, a new generation of people who exhibit that kind of wisdom. Because take for example, I mean, I'm sure all of us here on this set, because of the wisdom that we have, I'm sure that we are not violating for a few hours unnecessarily. I'm sure that we do not watch our children go and connect and do different things outside of the rule of law. And so I think what we need a generation of people who will teach and train. But the people who are around now, those big guys, you're not hopeless. All you have to do is to listen and conform to the rules and the regulations that people did the research. Please get it in your head. People did the research and they know why we're dying. We don't want this nation to be in that kind of state. So please respond to the rules. Go home. If you have no reason to be around, go home, do what is right, and let this thing leave our land.
I was presiding at a wedding the other day, and just before I started the ceremony, it was a beautiful garden scene. I invited all who were nearby, please don your face mask. I heard a voice, a female voice here. Something ever kill you? So, if it's COVID, so be it. And at that point, I recognized who it was, and I simply said, I am going to wait everybody to comply. And that same person who said that, I didn't even see where she got the face mask from. And she put it on immediately. Listen, I think we like to make a lot of jokes, but it's a serious time. And we are calling upon you wherever you live, wherever you socialize. Look, we heard about Barbados. Are they laughing at us? We have 80-something persons dead. That's the number. We are recording this program on the 1st of October. By the time you see this program, I don't know what will be the number, but we are pleading with you. Let us be responsible. We have taken this time that we would have otherwise used for other purposes. We have taken this. This is First Assembly's contribution to this conversation. Yes, we are financing this. We are concerned. This is not a public service announcement. We have taken our program and we want to speak to us as a people. It is the responsible thing to do. We choose to do this. We want to encourage you that you will choose to be responsible. We want to encourage you that you do exactly what we are concerned about. So, in time, we can reopen school and we can do those basic things in order to ease the pressure that we have around us. This is Choices. We'll see you next week.
I'm Celestia on behalf of the set, reminding you that your whole life is the sum of your choices. God bless you.